On today's Apple Daily, naming Apple Silicon's SOCs, how accurate will the U1 chips be, and iCaveAnswers.
This is the Apple Daily.
I'm David for Living on iPad, and I simplify Apple so that everything just works for you. If you want the latest Apple news, leaks and rumours every weekday at 12 UTC, like this video, subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss a thing. Naming Apple Silicon's SOCs. In yesterday's show, we speculated a little bit about what Apple's Mac line of Apple Silicon SoCs might be called once it launches later this year. And I think it would be really fun for us to kind of speculate together. So what I would love to do with this whole section is, if you've got an idea for how you think they should name them and what kind of range you think they should have, let me know down in the comments. This will be quite a fun thing to do, and once we actually see what they're going to call them, whoever has done well will get a big old shout out on the show. So I said yesterday, I think that instead of being A-series chips, because Apple's already said that they are going to be making custom silicon that's specific to the Mac line, I think the I-series chip would be great for the consumers and a P-series chip for the pros. They might even call them Power Mac chips or something like that. It'd be a nice throwback to what they used to do with the Power PC chips that they used to use pre-Intel. I mean, to be completely honest, what they call these chips is really not important at all in the grand scheme of things. However, it is one of the fun things that we've had literally no leaks on so far. But it would be really fun if one of us happens to get it right. So I'm going to put my money down on the I-series and the P-series for consumer and pro, but let me know in the comments what you think they should be called. How accurate will the U1 chips in iPhones be? So we have actually had a little bit of information about this. The U1 chip, just to be clear, is the location chips that Apple are including in the AirTags and also into the iPhones, and pretty much everything from now on should be having a U1 chip in it. I think it was last year that Apple introduced their mesh kind of Find My system, where basically every Apple device, wherever it might be on Earth, has the ability to detect other Apple devices. So if your laptop gets stolen for some reason, even if it's powered down, it will still be notifying other Apple devices nearby that it is there. It uses an encrypted hash so that it's all secure privacy wise, but if your Apple device is reported as stolen using the Find My app, I think it will be able to use the information that it's already gathered, send it via other Apple devices that are connected to the internet, and Apple will be able to locate your device. It's quite a clever system. Now, the U1 chips are taking this to the next level, and the accuracy that's being reported for these is pretty phenomenal. So Kamir, one of our Twitter sources, has mentioned that the accuracy of these is between 5 and 10 centimeters. Now, that is pretty astonishing. So that's sort of really this kind of distance to where the actual chip is when it's trying to locate it. Now, I would say if you're going to go 5 to 10 centimeters, that's probably in each direction. So let's assume, worst case scenario, that you're looking for what is essentially a 20 centimeter ball, and your iPhone is going to be telling you your device is within a space about this big. There's no way that you're not going to be able to find it unless it's like in a bucket of wires or something like I have in my office all the time. But essentially, if that's down the side of your couch and you can just see this ball, I guess, in AR that's on your screen, it's going to be very, very clear to you exactly where that device is. You're not going to have any problems finding your Apple TV remote finally. So I think that's pretty compelling. I think that's going to be really interesting. My one concern with AirTags is how much are they going to cost? Because so far it seems like that's one of the few things that's had very few leaks. I think I remember seeing something saying that they might be around $30, which if that's per tag, that's kind of steep, I think. Does that seem like a good deal to you guys? $30 to never lose your keys again? I think I'd probably pay that to not lose my keys and not to have that panic when I need to get out the door quite quickly, but it does seem a little bit steep. And iCaveAnswers. And today we have an iCaveAnswers question from Yurjit Mishra. Again, apologies if I've butchered your name. Do you think Apple Silicon will be worth the wait? Hashtag iCaveAnswers. Yes. Next. No, we will give a bit more detail. So, yes, I absolutely think it will be worth the wait. partially because we've already seen kind of the performance that Apple can put into these chips at very low power levels. So for example, we've been talking for basically, it seems like the whole of the past week, about how incredibly powerful the A14 chip is compared to the previous iPhone chips, and let's be honest, all of the Apple silicon that's been going into iPhones for several years has been pretty astonishingly powerful. The Android chips, I think, have as much horsepower, but they're using much higher clock speeds. They're using a lot more RAM, which means that they use more battery up, and although the iPhones don't necessarily have the largest cells in them, they tend to have some of the best battery life that you can get in a handset, and that comes down to how efficient these chips are. Now, one of the big advantages that Apple Silicon will have once they finally launch is the battery life on these things is going to be pretty incredible. The initial rumours are around 15 to 20 hours of battery life on a single charge, which seems pretty awesome. That is also then going to be using Apple Silicon, which is going to be a lot faster as well than the previous Macs. And it looks like at a lower price because Apple's not having to pay individually for chips from Intel. It looks like we're going to get Macs that are faster, cheaper, and the batteries last longer. So yeah, I would say they're probably worth waiting for. Thank you for your question. I just want to point out, iCaveAnswers, the questions are always open. This is not something where you have to wait for me to mention that we're going to do some of those Q&As. I would just love you guys to be dropping them in the comments or tweeting them to me anytime you like. I really like to answer these questions, and I think maybe when we hit 1,000 subscribers, we should maybe do a live stream that's all iCave answers. So let me know if you like that idea in the comments, but also let me know your next questions. I've got to be honest, quite often we do struggle to find enough news stories, especially at the moment. So because we know that the event's coming up very soon and a lot of stuff's already leaked, we're kind of into speculation of which items are coming, which aren't. I really do hope that we do get Apple Silicon next week, at least the first one, or at least a preview of what it's going to look like, what kind of performance we're looking at, what kind of cost we're going to be looking at, even if it's not ready to ship for another couple of weeks. But we'll see. That's going to be it for today's show. Hit me up in the comments if you have any questions for us, and make sure that you subscribe and ring the bell if you don't want to miss a thing, and join my notification squad. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.